right, boys and girls, after we've created our paper to make a stem and leaves, we are going to just have a glue stick, if I can open it, and a long rectangular piece of paper and a larger rectangle. And we are going to cut leaves. Now your leaves can be long and thin. That's kind of nice. Or maybe your leaves would be smaller and rounded. So you decide how you want to create the leaves for your stem. I think I might make mine smaller and curved. So you're going to cut out your leaves, place them where you'd like them on your stem, and then we're going to glue them down. And then we will prepare our flower. Our flower petals will be our final step. So now we have leaves and a stem. And we're going to glue this all together. Arrange them and think about how you want to style these. Maybe they'll tilt up, maybe they'll tilt down. You decide. Make sure to only add a little glue so it just sticks carefully to the stem. All right, boys and girls, our first step in creating these flower petals will be adding color. So you see that I have all these petals on this piece of paper. Well, I don't really want to see the lines while I'm cutting out my petals. I don't want all this line work showing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you flip your paper over and start adding color over the entire sheet of paper. We can use the scraps too. So I'm adding some pink, and I'm just using my tool or my crayon to go over the entire piece of paper just to get a light shade of pink. All right. Going all the way across. I can see the petals through my paper pretty easily. You might not be able to, so you may have to work on the entire sheet of paper. And I'd like to add a secondary color that I feel works well with this primary color that I'm using, or the initial color I'm using. And I'm going to use this darker pink. And I'm going over the entire piece of paper. Now, boys and girls, you may need to bring your color all the way to the edge of the paper. Be considerate of the edge of the paper. You can flip it over. Oh, it doesn't quite meet the edge, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. All right, now I'm going to take my paint sticks and decide if I want to add yellow over the pink or possibly pink. Remember, paint sticks have to dry between colors. And right now I'm just going to start adding a little of this pink. I like the complexity of having crayon work and paint work. Once again, this is tempera paint in a stick, which is wonderful. And we're going to let this dry for 90 seconds before we layer any other colors on top. When you use these quick sticks, make sure you're turned down and not sticking out of the ends. They get stuck in the cap. Close them nicely and let's wait 90 seconds. All right, it's been about 90 seconds, which is a minute and a half. My paper feels dry and I'd like to add another layer of paint. I'm going to use this orange paint stick. If it's not quite clean, we can use a paper towel or pick off the dirty part. And continue. And right now I just wanted to add a little bit of highlight. Just a little bit of a different color. And soon we'll cut them out. And if I wanted to add maybe the yellow or red on here, I would once again wait 90 seconds. Make sure to lower the paint stick down, close it, and wait. All right, boys and girls. Once your work is dry, you can flip it over, get your scissors out, and start dividing your paper across. Please don't cut each individual petal out until you've divided it. I'm going into strips. My paper is going to be divided into 4 strips with 4 petals on each strip. And here we go. Watch out, don't cut your fingers. The final strip here isn't quite finished, but that's okay. I'll set it to the side. I don't need it. So, boys and girls, I'm going to once again cut each piece apart. And we're going to carefully cut on the lines to recreate or create our petals for our flower that we are going to be collaging together. So we're going to be gluing and cutting to prepare this piece of artwork. We're not going to be drawing a flower. We are using cut paper to create the artwork. Cut them all out. Now that I have all these petals to cut, I better start working on my petals and cutting on the lines. Thank you, boys and girls. Make sure to try to stay on your line and keep a little pile for scraps. Alright, boys and girls, the final step of our collage project is putting the top of your flower on so that we can glue and attach petals to this little section here. And right now, or in the beginning, you might just want to place the petals down over one another, the thinner part being near the center, and deciding how you'd like your petals to lay on top of each other, because we want them to overlap and overlap and overlap and overlap. We could have a center piece, like a circular piece on here and attach. But right now I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep gluing them down and overlapping the petals. Because flowers are quite complicated and there are a lot of layers. So what I think I'll do is I'll start gluing and attaching the petals to the top piece. Enjoy yourselves, boys and girls.